Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's Shauna, the tax goddess. I have been dreaming, pondering, writing, researching. I am deep diving in on this AI stuff because I think I'm just a little tiny bit in love. Very, very long story short, I know that for many CPAs out there, tax season can just be burying, right? I mean, there's so much pressure and timeline and deadlines and client communications. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. And I do have to say that this is one of my favorite parts about being a tax strategist rather than a tax preparer, is what we get to do is research and learn and find new fabulous things to bring to our clients. And I think it's one of my favorite parts about this new, I'm going to call it an AI revolution, right? Is that now I have at my fingertips effectively the entire database of knowledge of man. Not all of it, big chunks of it, right? So, I wanted to cover about 4 things really today. The first one, how are we here at Tax Goddess using AI to help us track any changing tax laws? Keeping our clients up to date. Secondly, how are we using AI to find some tax saving opportunities, all the fun stuff. How we are integrating AI into our personalized strategies for our clients, helping us write, learn, explain, those kinds of things. And then a few real life examples of how AI has helped us deliver outstanding results for our clients. Now, I'm sure by the time you watch this video, everything I'm discussing will be completely out of date because we are talking about AI. As a very good friend of mine recently told me, whatever you knew yesterday about AI is not true about AI today. So please, when you're watching this video, take a look at the date timestamp, wherever that's located for you. And please don't yell at me later if everything I'm about to say changes. So let's back up. Now, the IRS releases pretty much every single day publications on what court cases, what legal laws have been put into place. The states will often send out updates once a week. It kind of depends on which state. Some of them are more frequently. And then, of course, you have all the different cities, right? Cities that may also still have taxation at the city level. That is a lot of data, a massive amount of data to get through. But one of the biggest benefits of AI is that we can go to Gemini and say, okay, bring us all the most current data, everything that changed today. And out of all that data, because even that is still a significant amount of data, out of that data, bring me any strategies that relate to business owners, that relate to real estate investors, that relate to charitable trusts, right? Whatever topic it is that we are really looking for, we can use the AI to parse that information. Now, that's, of course, changing the tax laws. How do we use all that information to identify new opportunities? Let's say out of all of that information, 5 or 6 court cases come up that sound really interesting to me. I know we're tax nerds over here. We gotcha. You like us. You like the tax nerds. I know. So what we do is we look at those 5, 6, 10 court cases, and we will actually put that information into Notebook LM, which is fantastic for, basically, I consider it putting on blinders and really looking at the details of each court case. So for this particular court case, or for this particular strategy within a court case, what are the requirements for that strategy to work or not work? Like, when would it fail? So that we can pull out that information, and part 3, use that information to write up a human English tax strategy for our clients, okay? Because once we know what works and what doesn't work, we can process, as the humans, we can process all of that technical babble and convert it using AI to a much more human English with examples. How do we apply this strategy? Has this other strategy changed? All of those kinds of things into the documentation we can actually provide to our clients. So at the moment, Tax Goddess looks at about 1,800 tax strategies for every single client. I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, that was 20 years of being Tax Goddess. That was 20 years of gathering data. I bet you we're going to get to 4,000 within the next year purely because of AI. So the amount of data that we can now process is significant. Now, I know I promised you some real life examples of how AI has helped us deliver outstanding results. For a lot of people, that taxes are kind of, for some people, they're scary. For a lot of people, they can just be frustrating, right? In order to make a strategy work, you have to do this step, this step, this step, this step. Let me use that as a great example. If we tell you that you need to go form an entity, previously you might have called your attorney or reached out to Zoom Legal, anything like that. You can now go to AI, right? Type in, I need to form an LLC in the state of California, whatever state you're in, and it will literally give you step-by-step instructions along with the links and the forms and how much to pay and where to go, okay? So we have just started, I'm hoping it's going to go well, started allowing our clients to have an AI agent that we built specifically for each client. So that client A, can ask its specific AI, I need to do this, how do I do this, where do I go for this? And it will give you answers based on your own information. So I'm in love with where AI is taking us. I'm sure this video will change. I might have to film this video again in a month and see where we're at. But I'm really, really, really excited about this. And I hope you all are as well. Now, the one thing, we have had some comments, Shauna, you're not relying on AI to give you information, right? The AI hallucinates. One of the things that I love about the AIs, you can compete them against each other. So if ChatGPT gives me something that sounds a little too good to be true, we will go over to Gemini and say, fact check, right? We'll go over to Notebook LM and we'll pull the actual instructions from the IRS, those court cases, right? Read the actual facts of the document, compare these three, and we come up with beautiful little strategies. So if you are not sure if your tax strategist or your tax preparer is up to speed on all of the potential strategies that are coming into the world, especially in this age of knowledge, reach out to us. This is the kind of stuff that we do. We like to be at the forefront of strategies that are legal, beneficial, and will save you a ton of money. As you can see, our numbers are getting big. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team. We love this stuff and we love saving money. So let us do it for you. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.